Hello punters, and welcome back to round one of season 11 of Wheel to Wheel Racing. Here we are at Laguna Seca tonight for Top Split. Joining me in the comms box tonight, I have a couple of, well, not newcomers, they've been around the block, but hey, for the first time they are back with us for this season. Welcome Mid Drisky, how are you, buddy?
G'day, Dodgy. Thank you, mate. It's good to be back in the box again. Looking forward to round one, and can't wait till the guys get into it.
Absolutely, and backing up Midrisky tonight, we have a very long-lost fellow racer from Wheel to Wheel. He hasn't been here for a couple of seasons. He's been threatening to come back, and may actually come back if we're not careful. Pagani, how are you, buddy?
How are you going, guys? I hope we're all doing well. Yeah, it's good. It's good to finally make a return back to Wheel to Wheel, and hopefully get some enjoyable racing going on tonight.
Absolutely, and look, we've just joined in time. We have popped in now, and they've already started quali. It looks like Super Dragon was the first car out of the gate. I'll throw it over to you fellas. Go for it, Madrisky.
Thanks, Dodge. So, yeah, it's season one of Wheel to Wheel. Season one. It's round one of season 11 of Wheel to Wheel. And in this round, we've got the Sylvia, which is the one make. So everyone's racing the Sylvia for the odd rounds. Makes it a little bit fairer. Everyone's on an even playing field, so it comes down to driver skill and a little bit of luck. So as we go around, I'll just try to change my view here. We've got, I think it's Super Dragon just about to start his quali lap.
Yeah, we're on with him now. Tell us how he goes.
He's coming up over the hill. It's down into the corner. You brake at that white mark on the line. Brings it around. You've got to try to keep those wheels from not screeching. We're on the soft tyres, and they're going to wear pretty quick. So the less wear you can get around with, it's going to be better for you at the end of the race. So he's coming around. This is a nice sweeping corner, and if you don't get it right, you've got dust for years. So it's either off or you commit yourself to the corner. And we've got the uphill. This one's relatively simple. When I say relatively simple, once again, make sure that you navigate it appropriately and you won't find any trouble. But this corner here is the one that everyone has a little bit of trouble with. It's a little bit off camber. It's a bit of a sweeper to the right, to the left, and if you get it wrong, once again, there's nothing but dirt and wall. Now the corkscrew, you got to break it up early here. You want to make sure you got traction before you come down that little peak there, otherwise you'll do nothing but spin. There's another tricky little corner. Try to get as close as you can to that inside curb, and you're coming into the last run before the hairpin onto the straight. Let's see what his time is going to look like.
I think a good target time here for quality is around a 128, maybe a mid 127. But with these D1 guys, half alien, half human, there's a very good chance we could even see a very high 126.
That's right, and I expect that I think Dragon just came around for a 127.5.
When Adams topped the pops at the moment with a 27 flat.
27 flat, that is pretty damn fast.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of practice laps this week. In quali trim and in race trim, he's definitely a driver to look out for this round. I was doing a few practice sessions with him, and he pretty much took off by the third lap in both rounds, in both races.
Now we've got Goat, who's coming with a 27.2. He's just letting Adam go past him there, and also Scotty. Tombo behind Goat with another 0.2, so Tombo's at 27.4. And then we've got Corbin, who's my team owner.
We won't hold
proudly
that
driven, proudly driving the Jade Finance Australia L-Plan car.
Yeah, I think out of all the liveries, like we've got a very nice range of liveries for this season, but I think the L-Plan livery is personally one of my favourites for this season. What about yours,
That's good to hear. Yeah, well, I must admit, I don't mind ours. I think ours have both last season and this season have been well laid out actually. They're pretty good, but I haven't seen all the liveries at the moment. But there's a couple I think that stand out. The Team Dodgy one looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does too.
The whole team looks the same, and you know exactly who you're racing against when you come up against the yellow. So.
Yeah, and it's very good to see that even after 12 seasons of racing, there's people who are still putting out liveries that do leave us with our jaws hard on the floor. There's some very creative people in our league that are able to put out some absolutely amazing liveries for teams and privateers as well.
And you're right there. I think it's an absolute surprise is that every season you don't get many liveries that look anything like the previous season. They're all so different. There's just the amount of combinations that the guys are coming up with are fantastic. Who else have we got to move in the ladder? The ladder hasn't really moved much at all. The standings are still pretty much the same. We've got Corbin. Then we've got Scooter coming in at 6th with another... He's at 27.6, I think it looks like. It could be 27.5. We've got Zoo behind Scooter with a 27.6 as well. We've got Pure Axel with a 27.7. DJ Stefko, which is a bit of a surprise, is 27.7 as well.
But he is
he's
purple
just gone
at the moment.
Purple, yep. I was just looking at that. He's just gone purple, and he's got to navigate past Adam here.
Well, he might be using Adam. Clever boy. He might stay right on Adam's backside and use a bit of that draft.
See what he comes up with here.
Go, Stefko. Not biased at all. Oh, takes it for second. I'll take that. Thank you very much.
That's a pretty quick time. Far out. This is going to be a smoking race. The guys are pulling those kinds of times now. Obviously, the times are going to drop off a bit once those tyres start to wear. The corners are not the easiest to navigate. Turn in a little too early or a little too late, and there's nothing but pain either side.
Yeah, and there's also a couple of other drivers I noticed about a lap before Goat was doing a technique where you burn some fuel just before you start your hot lap, and he's also on a fresh set of tyres. So it'd be interesting to see what time he pumps out with a little bit less fuel compared to the rest, and on a fresh set of tyres.
So we finished with Zoos in 9th. We've got Pure Axel, which is a bit of a surprise, back in 10th. Dale also seems to not have put together a lap that he would have liked at the moment. It sounds like it looks like he's had a couple of issues in a few corners. He's sitting in 11th, and we've got CS Packer who's filling in for Tate this week. CS Packer is also sitting back at 1.6 or nearly 1.7 seconds behind, so he's going to have a bit of a hard time to, and he hasn't actually registered a time yet. So, oh no, sorry, that was just mine. Kazadro is back in 13th and looks to be having a hell of a time. 10 seconds off the pace, so he also hasn't put together a quick lap. And they're running out of time at the moment, so I think they've probably got... This would probably be close to the last lap, I think, boys.
Yeah, and Goat just ran a little bit wide coming out of the last corner. He kicked up a little bit of dirt on the exit and almost put it in the wall coming down the straight. He ended up not improving on his previous best. I think he's going to have one more try. He's top 3. He's only 2/10 behind the leader and DJ as well, since they've got pretty close times. But as well with Adam, Goat is also a very competitive driver. Them two are pretty much neck and neck during some practice sessions.
That looks like dragging off in the dirt there, so he's not going to be improving much this round.
I expect nothing less of Dragon. He's always been a bit of a letdown in my eyes. A love-hate relationship between me and Dragon. We go way back.
Love to hate each other, yes. Actually, Chris back in 5th. I was expecting a bit more out, or 6th now, as KZ comes up. But I was thinking he might be a bit quicker tonight. It's such a hard div to pick at the moment. I look at all these names and I really can't pick a top 5.
Yeah, Dodgy, and I think the other thing that is really going to come into it is especially in the 14-lap race where it's assumed that no one's going to come in for tyres. Like I said, they're going to be so worn, it's really going to come down to making sure you're consistent and you have no mistakes, because the moment you go off here, there's no chance of you getting back into that front running group that's there. Once you're off, you're gone. So you'll be sitting at the back of the pack just trying to catch.
Yeah, well, that
I'll bring out the shovel and the bucket and start building sandcastles.
Yeah, that's right.
It does bring up that we are in a one make this round too. For the offset of this season, we are running the GR3 multi-make for the manufacturers, and then the GR4s are the one make Sylvia you see tonight. And I think that's going to be true of every race with these things. If you have one mistake, it's too hard to catch because everyone is so close in these cars.
I'm just watching Goat, who's just pushed it a little too far past the... who's also moved into first, mind you, but he's pushed it a little too far. Here we go, we're about to start.
I think we should put our cameras on DJ in third place. I reckon coming to the first corner would be awesome.
I'm having problems changing my camera view, so...
Yeah, good old GT. Here we go, we're up to 3 lights, 4, 5... and we're out of there. Bit of a wheel spin in these things, but you can hold it. Just got to get in there and get that slip from Adam, get down to the first corner.
Ooh, someone's gone very wide. Casadro, he's gone around. Very big pile up the first corner.
Yep.
Who's off? Dragon's off, Casadro's off, Zoo's off.
We'll have to try to get a...
replay on that one.
Yeah, and probably take it. Oh,
I wish we
go.
could. Thanks.
Oh, no replays.
Yeah, GT7 we can't do replays at the moment, unfortunately.
Oh,
and,
okay.
As you mentioned with the old camera issue, I can't get TV camera angles either. So, looks like we've had a little tap there from Tombo into Stefko. It's allowed Scooter 82 to go around the outside, but it looks like Tombo redressed it. So already a bit of action happening in the first race back this evening.
Ooh, 3 wide coming into the course through with Adam, CCH and Tombo.
Yeah, and I think we knew this.
Adam's gone around the course through. I think CCH may have had an involvement in that one.
Oh, it's not too good to hear. But he's Corbin's still there. He's at the front. Tombo right behind him. The front 3 seem to have made a nice, clean 2-second break from 4th onwards. But Goat has cleared out another 2 seconds from Scooter and DJ, so he's now starting to really lay it down, and it'll be hard for the guys now. 2 seconds is a fair margin on this track. We'll have to wait and see whether or not they can peg him back, or whether or not he seems to... He's going to run away with it.
I guarantee Adam is wishing right now that Will Smith still had that rewind button back from a few years ago. He's had an absolute shocker of a start. I think from memory he started on pole for this race, and he's back down to 13th. But yeah, he's definitely a race for him to forget.
Yep.
Pure Axel and Fixer Chris about to contest the corner. Pure Axel pulls out, lets Fixer through. That lets Dale close up a little bit, and right behind Dale is Super Dragon. We've got CS Packer, Casadro. Something must have happened to Casadro as well. He's back in 11th.
Yeah, he was involved in the first lap in the first corner incident.
Okay, yeah. So
he was there. I think he was the main culprit. He was down on the inside and caught a bit of the dirt on the brakes.
Got Zoo 3 seconds behind Casadro, and we've got Adam another 3 seconds behind Zoo. Which makes Adam 12, nearly 13 seconds off the front runners, which isn't too far, but it's still going to be a hell of a comeback if he can make it from there. He's got 11 other cars he needs to navigate through. So
there's a big gaggle of cars from about 5th down that are just cruising into the first corner. They all
got Casadro down on the inside, I think. Yep. Nice little move on the inside of Andretti Hairpin. I think with this round, it's a very there's a lot of strategies with both races. You know, we're assuming that with the first race, drivers are going to be doing a no-stopper, just run it on softs the whole way. But with how the race has started off so far, it's definitely had an impact on the tyre wear for some of these drivers, so they might feel it towards the end. With this track, it's almost a 50-second pit time with tyres and fuel. Obviously, that plays more of a role in the second race.
Just also bring to the viewers' attention that Goat has pulled a 1:26.9, which was faster than any of the qualifying lap times. And Dale,
very good. That's at 26.
Yeah, Dale is now starting to have a group of cars start to build up behind him.
DJ's picked up a 1 second penalty. I think that probably would have been from the second part of corkscrew. He probably burned that off now. Oh no, that's the next lap.
Yeah, it's strange sometimes. It depends. It's the corkscrew definitely, but sometimes it'll give it to you on the same lap that you just got it, and sometimes it'll give it to you the next lap. So I don't know where the marker is for the game deciding when the penalty needs to be served. But when he does have to serve that penalty, he's got Tombo and CCH and Fixer Chris then coming up behind him.
Yep, CCH and Fixer just swap positions coming into the hairpin.
Goat's
nice little move on the inside.
Again. He's really ringing the neck on this Sylvia.
That's not too bad on lap 4 of those tyres, and I must admit that probably lap 4 is not that bad, but still there's a big difference between the first 2 laps and the rest of the laps once you start to get around the track, especially on the tyres that you've got.
He's coming up on his next split now. We'll see if he's still purple. No,
he's dropped 4 tenths.
He's put himself. He's gained another second, and so he's starting to really push that lead out. And his tyres, tyres all look to be pretty even from everyone. Pure Axle's got pretty good tyres actually, probably a lot better than anybody's so far.
Yeah, Pure Axle's always have a hidden talent of being able to preserve his tyres. Obviously, that'll play a big role in the later laps of the race.
Yeah, definitely. Once you get past lap 9, you really need to start to be a little bit more sensitive to your braking, your cornering. Yeah. Well, there's a bit of contact there between Tombo and DJ.
I'm not quite sure if it's, although it looks like Tombo's trying to redress that. I'm not sure if they're lag spikes or what with these guys, because it does seem to be a little bit of lag in the room.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of jumping around.
Oh, okay, because on my screen it looks pretty smooth. It's not too bad at all.
Well then, we'll just say it's all Tombo.
It's not the first time you've had internet problems.
Yeah, I've frozen 3 times in the last 2 days, so it could just be me. Yeah. Well, anyway, that penalty is really.
Packer's gone off just before corkscrew. You probably get passed by Adam. He's dropped down to 13th now. Yep.
Yeah, that's a nasty place to go, because you can't even try to bring it back on the track. Once it's on that sand, you feel yourself drifting, and there's not much you can do. Yeah.
Off into the shadow realm he goes.
Yep. And even if you do go off, you're lucky if you don't come away with any damage. So.
Yeah. And there's always a possibility with that outside wall that if you do hit it at a weird angle, it can completely spin you around and maybe even spit you back out on track into the racing line.
Yeah. Well, that's 6 laps down, and Goat has now pulled out a 3.8 second lead in front of Scooter and DJ Stefko, who's closely followed by Tombo. And Tombo seems to have pulled away a little bit from Fixer Chris. Fixer Chris now sitting on his own with a second and a half behind to Pure Axle, and almost 2 seconds up to Tombo. Pure Axle's then got another 0.8 back to CCH, and Neil CCH has dropped back and has got Dale and that pack that was behind Dale starting to catch him. And Dale is right on him here, so he's not going to be close enough to make a move, but
okay, Dale,
he's
wow.
got the crisscross, nice move.
That was a nice move.
Awesome move. That's awesome.
Unfortunately, Corbin, his tyres are not looking that great at the moment, so he's probably struggling because of the tyres.
Yeah, his front left has seen better days.
Yeah, compared to everyone else around him, it seems as though he's got a little bit more wear than anybody else. And Cazadro is now right on him. Super Dragon just behind him. So if you can't start to pull it together in the next couple of laps and start to at least, if not get past, oh, here we go. Cazadro's about to make a move.
Yep. And then Dragon probably have a look at behind as well. Yep. Now he's definitely going to have a pass.
A little bit of a touch. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Corbin. Yep.
Yeah, with these I wouldn't say low-powered car. They're still fairly quick. It'd also be by Dragon on the inside of Andretti. I'll give him some credit there. But bouncing back to CCH, with these low-powered cars, not being able to perfect your exit down to the main straight, it will affect you down to the first corner and make you very vulnerable.
Yeah, they're a nice car to drive, but they're a little sensitive sometimes. It's yeah, you get it wrong and you definitely feel it. Going back to Stefko and Tombo, Stefko's now pulled out a 1.7 second lead, and Tombo's got Fixer Chris right on his tail.
Oh, Deja's gone wide. He's gone wide. Can he hit the wall? Yes, he is. Can get away with some damage.
Oh, DJ.
But Tombo and Fixer have gone past.
He's got Pure Axle coming up now. Yep, that's another perfect example. It doesn't take much.
Can you stop putting the commentator's curse on my team?
Yeah, I did the same. I think I've done 3 times so far, and we haven't drawn too much attention to any of the accidents, which I'm glad about.
It's alright. It's alright. Dragon doesn't need a commentator's curse. He'll do it by himself.
So first and second are clearly gone. The race here is for third place, which is Tombo and Fixer Chris.
Yeah, and Goat's pushed his lead out to just over 5 seconds now. 5.3 at the start of the 8th lap.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Goat's times, and there's nothing higher than 27.8, which was his last lap. So that's pretty good consistency for lap 8. And just watching him now, I don't know whether he's just taking it a little bit easy, but he doesn't seem to be really aggressively attacking those corners. He seems to be.
Oh, Fixer Chris going a little bit deep. Tombo going the undercut.
That's not like Chris at all. I'm amazed he's not on the horn.
Yeah, we haven't heard a single horn get blasted.
I've heard it. It's been going. Mainly Corbin and Fixer.
It definitely is quite a distraction if you're in front of the driver that's honking. I know when I was doing some practice sessions with Go, it really caught me off guard. I almost went completely off track. She gave me a bit of a fright coming into the second corner.
I think Stefko, as I bring it up, he hits some dirt, but these guys battling in front of him, he's caught a sniff and he's catching them pretty quickly, so hopefully they keep battling and let him catch right up. Saying that, he's got Pure Axle right behind him as well.
So just checking back on Adam, who is now just 1.3 behind Corbin, who's got a pack of 3 in front of him, the 3 that passed him earlier, and they don't seem to be really getting away from each other. The pack's staying there, which is helping Adam. Adam's now closed right down to 1.1 seconds, and I think he's going to be on the back of this pack before the end of the beginning of the next lap.
Throwing back to what you mentioned about liveries earlier, gents, I think the 13R livery is quite a standout livery this season as well. There's 3 that were in my top 3. Of course, mine is one of them. But definitely...
I couldn't imagine why.
Yeah, definitely 13R up there too, along with the L Plan. I think they'd have to rate as my top 3 this season.
Yeah, the 13R does look good. Corbin now's got Adam right on his bumper. Now, gents, I don't know about you guys, but how do you navigate the corkscrew? It's
hopes and dreams.
Close your eyes.
It's one of those ones where you leave your braking a little too late, and then you're going sideways into the corner, and because of the drop, you've got no chance of bringing it back. Adam's about to make a move here on
Adam. Yep.
Corbin.
He's going to make himself very vulnerable for undercut. Yep.
Oh, nice move. Trying to find the action. So it seems to be two main groups at the moment. The first and second are clearly broken out from the rest of the pack, but we've got a group of third, fourth, and fifth and sixth, which is Tombo, Stefko, Fixer Chris, and Pure Axel are in one pack. And then we've got Dale, Super Dragon, Kazadro, Zoo. Oh, geez, that was close. Zoo right on Kazadro there.
Corbin takes a bit of sausage.
Ooh.
And,
Oh, he's done well to hold on to that.
Yeah, it made Adam connect with his tail then, but he managed to hold it.
Alright, we're on lap 10.
This is where the tyres will start showing.
Yeah,
Zoo's
definitely.
just
The weaknesses.
Oh,
Yep, there you go.
See.
Corbin's
There
gone.
goes. Corbin's gone just as I was watching him.
Looks
Super
like,
Dragon.
Yep. I was going to say, Zoo's got Dragon in his sights now.
Sights.
He's taken KZ.
It's closing down. It'll be interesting for race 2, where see whether or not anyone does actually come in for a pit for tyres, or whether or not they stay out for the full 20.
Well,
Yeah, there's a couple of a couple of strategies for race 2. Like you just said, there is a no stop is a very viable option. There is also the one stop 2 softs, and as well as the one stop soft with a medium as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought a 2-stop would have been much of a strategy at all. Having nearly a minute 10, nearly minute 20 into the pits, that seems like just too much to bring back.
yeah, it's as Dragon just loses a bit in that corner, and that gives Zoo the opening he needed. Now Zoo's got Dragon, and the two Dam boys are line astern now. Only 1.2 seconds between them. So hopefully those guys can start teaming up now and push it. It's so hard to battle at this stage of this race because all these cars, after about 10 or 11 laps on these tyres, they're sliding all over the place. They're having to brake earlier. Their brake markers have had to change. Their turn-in markers have had to change. It's just so hard to overtake these cars when they're sliding all over the shop. So the last 3 laps are definitely going to be ones to watch.
Yeah, Dodgy, I was just going to add on to that is if we're going to see any mistakes or a little bit of bad luck, this is where we're going to see it. And I think that was DJ that just ran a little wide there.
Yep.
Fixer Chris
Corbin's also just ran a little wide. Corbin's starting to really feel it now with his tyres. He's by far the one with the most amount of wear.
There's a lot of wear on those tyres. I don't know why that is actually. He doesn't seem
Is he still on control, or has he moved to a wheel?
I think he's still on controller, yeah.
Yeah. It's been known that controller players do struggle a little bit more when it comes to preserving the tyres.
Yeah, it could be, because Dragons is down near to Corbin's as well. He's a pretty worn compared to everybody else as well.
It looks like Fixer has got Tombo in his sights. He's creeping up ever so slowly. So with 3 laps to go, I think Tombo would want to be careful and hope to God that someone ends up in the sand.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple of guys pushing here for position, and it'll either pay off, because the guy in front's probably trying to be a little bit more gentler. Or it'll either pay off, or you'll pay the price.
Yep. And with that,
There's also a very wide range of different teams across the grid. We don't start seeing two drivers from the same team until we get to 7th and 8th, which is Zoo and Dale with their team. Like we've got Goat in first, and then we've got the L Plan team in second, and then we've got Tombo in third with another team. So it's good to see that the teams are all very diverse in terms of their pace. But it's very good, like, for the viewers as well. Like, there's not one dominant team at the moment.
Yeah, whether or not that stays the same in the second race, there were, like Adam was right up there, but obviously there were a few other guys that got caught into that incident in the first corner. So that's really changed the makeup of the race. Like I said, once you're at the back, 12 seconds is a hell of a lot of time to try to make back.
Hold it, DJ.
But yeah, you did right there, Pagani. It's good to see that there's a bit of variety in the top 5.
Yeah, it's not like Mercedes when they were doing the turbo hybrid era.
We've got Super Dragon and KZ. They're only separated by 2/10 at the moment. Coming up to the corkscrew now. What have they got? A lap and a half to go. I'm shocked that KZ's this far back. He did finish the season, I think. I'm going to say it was second or third. I think it might have been second, but second or third. He finished last season, so I'm a bit shocked to see him back in 9th.
Yeah,
he actually finished either 6th or 7th because he missed the last 2 races, which really cost him points wise. So he finished mid-pack, but definitely he was leading for the season up until the last 2 races, which he couldn't make. So you're dead right. I'm a bit surprised to see Super Dragon as well this far back. I was expecting that both these guys were going to be a little bit further up front.
Yeah, well, like KZ, Dragon, and Adam were all involved in that first lap incident. So their current position isn't true to where they really are.
Absolutely. You've got Goat now, who is 11 seconds in front. The man is a magician. He's coming up through the corkscrew now for his last lap.
And he's putting it in there sideways. Slid it in there, so he's feeling the tyre wear as well. It's a good drive with 11 seconds. He's definitely throwing the gauntlet down to the rest of the pack.
No, I think CCH might lose his position just before we get to the finish line, because Packer is all over him and CCH's tyres have seen better days.
That's PL Goat crosses the line there. We watch Scooter now just about to cross the line with Tombo not too far behind. They seem to have made a bit of time up on Scooter. Clawed back at least 2 seconds there. DJ Stefko in 4th. Pure Axel, something must have happened to Chris. Chris is finished up in 6th. Got Zoo in 7th. Dale in 8th. Kazadro 9th. Super Dragon 10th. Adam 11th. And Corbin CCH coming around now with CS Packer. Sprint to the line for 12th and 13th. Race 1 done.
Just to have a quick look at CCH's tyres, guys. That's for him to even manage to hold onto that position before the finish line is impressive.
Yeah, I'd hazard a guess that Corbin may be doing a stop in lap in the second race.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't.
All right, congratulations there to Goat. That was a pretty impressive drive to top the field with 11 seconds from the next competitor. That's a pretty damn good drive.
Yeah, I definitely think the stewards are going to have their work cut out for them at the beginning of this round. There's probably going to be a few reports getting submitted, especially with that as Adam has put that comment in the lobby. I think there definitely will be some reports getting thrown out with that lap 1.
Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't grab a replay because of the game, but yeah, it did seem to be probably 2 incidents in that corner.
It was a big one, yeah. Turn 1 was a big mess.
Yeah,
I really
but I
wish
think
we
there
could have got a clear one, yeah.
Yeah, I think there was an incident up the front of the field, and there was another one mid-pack. So I think there were two that I noticed as I was watching the pack go through the corner.
Yep, well now we go into the second formatted race, which is going to have another quick 5-minute quali, and then we're in for 20 laps, gents. So what say before we get into that 20 laps, we throw out an ad for one of our sponsors?
Yep, sounds great, Dodge.
Awesome, we'll be right back.
Do you own a business needing new equipment? Or perhaps you're wanting a good set of wheels for that shiny new bike license? Maybe you're after that well-earned boat for retirement. Or you desperately need a new car or caravan for those family getaways? Get in touch with Jade Finance today.
And there you go, Jade Finance Australia looking after Wheel to Wheel yet again for another season. They've backed us for the last couple of seasons, and I'm pretty sure they're behind us, not only supporting a team as sponsoring our plan as mentioned earlier, but locked in for the rest of the for this year with Wheel to Wheel as well. So happy to have you on board. Okay, where are we off to now? We haven't kicked off yet, have we, with the quali? No, we're still sitting there waiting.
Yep, he's reset the room. I think he might call it shortly. But I'll just give the viewers a bit of a rundown on the Nissan Silvia, which was I think it was the 7th generation Silvia made, released back in January 1999, and it was hoping to reignite the Silvia brand, where the previous generation wasn't that great, and they made a couple of changes, whacked in a 6-speed gearbox and a limited slip diff, and made the body a little bit more rigid, which made it a bit more worthy of hitting the track. So that's what we're racing for the one make. It's a 1999 car. It seems to be not too bad actually. It feels good on the track. It's just getting used to it, I think.
Yeah, I think its main characteristic is I've picked it up down and coming to the hairpins that if you press the brakes hard enough, the rears do tend to slide out a little bit, but I guess that's good for some rear rotation and get the car pointed towards the exit.
Yeah, because I must admit the rear wheels don't seem to suffer anywhere near as much as the front. So yeah, if you're getting the back sliding out a bit, I don't think you're going to really worry too much about the tyre wear back there. Just waiting for one more to tick in, and I think Dale's just about ready to kick it off.
Yeah, I hope Zoo isn't having an issue. It will have to get kicked off soon. The rules of Wheel to Wheel are there, unfortunately, that do say if you're not there to start the race, then that's just bad luck. You go down as a DNF, but he does have the 5 minutes of quality to get in time. He can join anywhere up to the last 5 minutes, last minute of quality.
I think for sure as well with this second round of quali, we'll definitely see some better lap times. I think it's safe to say that with the first round of quali, drivers were still a little bit unfamiliar with their times. Like we definitely saw Goat put in a better time than anyone else during the race, and compared to quali. I think was one of the only drivers to get down into the 126. I definitely think Adam can also be a good shout for a driver to also improve on their times.
They're waiting for us to open tracks, boys. Mid, can you just let them know track is open if Zoo is in? And I'll tell you what, Pagani, while you're there, I happen to be on with a striking looking livery of Team Dodgy Racing that has a 180 embroidery sponsor on it. Do you want to give us a bit of info about 180 embroidery?
Yep, so with 180 embroidery, they currently, like you just said, they sponsor Team Dodgy Racing, also known as Team DR. They provide quality embroidery and vinyl printing services for a large range of school and workplace uniforms, sportswear, and promoting products. So whether you're a farmer or a frontline worker or anyone in between, they've got you covered. With a wide range of clothing brands for any situation, check them out at www.180embroidery.com.au. Again, we thank them for sponsoring Team TDR.
Yeah, not only that, look, I will add as well that 180 Embroidery have looked after Wheel to Wheel in other aspects as well. They are the company that do our merch too. So if you're wearing or have been wearing one of our Wheel to Wheel polos or t-shirts, then this is where they came from, and they do a great job as well.
Yeah, the merch definitely looks pretty top notch.
It's so hot, I can't get a copy of any merchandise anymore. Putting in requests and they're ending up with no orders being filled.
Yes,
but I wait.
It's coming. It's coming.
That's okay,
Also, one of the things with team sponsorship this season is all teams that are sponsored, part of the sponsorship package is that they all get a team shirt, and that will be coming out of the 180 stable as well. So yeah, it's good to see that a part of that package, the sponsors have recognised what the drivers get up to and supporting the team by bringing them all together and throwing them in some clothes.
Yeah, Dodgy, I don't think we can thank the sponsors enough. I think it's that kind of support that helps build the league and provide us with the sponsorship that we need to build on what we've started here. So yeah, they're much appreciated. All right.
All onto their hot lap right now. I don't think they're going to have time to pit stop for this one though.
No, I think that at most, I think they're probably only going to be able to do possibly 2 laps, 2 hot laps. I'm not even sure they're going to get a second hot lap in with 5 minutes.
No, not at all.
Actually, they should. It should be around 4.5, just around 5 minutes. So most of them should get in a second hot lap. It won't be everybody, unfortunately, but depends how they came out of the pits. We've got Super Dragon right at the front at the moment, setting the pace. Coming into the second last corner. About to hit the hairpin. We'll see what kind of time Super Dragon's got.
Oh, 127.8.
It's not too bad.
Scooter one-ups him.
That.
Tombo as well. And Dragon
Goat.
just keeps falling.
Goat with 27 flat.
Goat did, I think that's the time. That's pretty close to what Adam did in the first.
Yeah,
First race.
it pretty much is. It could very much will be the exact same time.
Yeah.
I think it was either a .093 that Adam set. It could be like 1,000th of a second between him and Adam.
Yeah, it's not much of a difference, but just looking at him at the moment, he's only done a 27.8, which is far away from what he did in the first one, so he obviously hasn't put together a decent lap. Consistency is just so hard here. It just goes to show. I was watching the lap times of the guys earlier, and they're going from 27s to 30s to 29s. A couple of mistakes, and your whole lap's gone.
Yep, and I can confirm that Goat did match Adam's time.
So it is the same time.
Exactly at the same time. But he's improving. He's almost 0.2 of a second up coming through the last sector.
This would have to be... See if Dragon can improve. Oh, Dragon goes second.
Nice.
Oh. And back down to third.
Back down to fourth.
And there you go. Goat's gone
And
to
reality
26.9.
checks in.
All that hard work. 26.9 from Goat. That's an unbelievable climb. Far out. That's it. The guys have realised that they've run out of time.
And look, while we're there, I have noticed lurking in the chat on YouTube, last 2 seasons, season champion Apex Humper. He's still here. While he isn't with us on GT7 this season, he is joining us for a first for Wheel to Wheel in an ACC season, midweek season. So Apex has switched over to that for the time being, so we won't be seeing him on the Sunday streams, but hopefully we'll see him on midweek streams. So good to see you here, Apex.
Yeah, he's done a Nico Rosberg win the title and then hang his helmet up for 1 season.
Lights are red, fellas.
And we're off.
And that looks to be a pretty clean start from everyone.
Axel getting really aggressive and straight again, getting to the left side of the track.
Tombo just moved past.
There we go this time.
Oh, a little touch there on Goat.
Goat's gone very wide.
That looked
No,
the
just a little touch there from Tombo. Just sent him a little.
Oh,
gave him a little too much
and there we
momentum.
go. Axel gone round. I think it was a bit of a butterfly effect going on there.
Wow, this is I don't think this is what we were really expecting from the Div 1 drivers, but then again, I think what could be contributing to it is the fact that they're all driving the same car. It's early in the lap, everyone's really close, and you're trying to find where you can get an advantage.
I think what happened is it all kicked off coming down to the Andretti hairpin. Goat went a little bit wide. I think he was bumped by someone coming into the entry, and then I think one of the dam drivers as well went wide onto the dirt, came back on track, hit someone in the middle of the three, and then whoever was in the middle bounced off in pure axle.
Well, let's put DJ Stefko and Pure Axel right at the back of the pack, so they've got a little work to do, but they've got a few more laps, and obviously the pit strategy, if drivers choose to take a pit, may play a part.
Absolutely. How many of them do you reckon are going to pit, if any?
Ooh.
Dodgy, I reckon that's a really good question, because I think most of the guys are thinking that there's no advantage to pitting, although I'd sort of have to disagree, because I'm thinking everyone's racing pretty aggressively. If the tyres drop off like they did in the previous race, then you'd have to have an advantage coming on to the second half of the race with fresh tyres and watch everyone slide all over the place, put pressure on them, and then just watch them go off. I think that it'd have to be a strategy of a few of the guys. So if no one comes in, I'll be absolutely shocked.
Yeah,
I think
controller drivers. Do you reckon they'll come in? Do you reckon they'll have a bit more time?
Definitely. I think Dragon, definitely Corvin, just based off his last race, will have to definitely come in. Dragon as well, I know he's switched over to controller because he's currently going through some technical difficulties with his wheel, so I think he's also within a shout of coming to the pits. I think really the only person I can guarantee that won't come into the pits is probably Goat, because he doesn't have to deal with any dirty air, which means he has to push the car a bit harder to get it where he wants to in the corners. I think he's the only driver.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because his tyres weren't that great after 14. There were other drivers in the pack that had much better tyres than Goat's. So yeah, we'll see whether or not he rolls the dice.
And there's also the factor as well that these drivers who put in countless hours of practice, they say they don't want to do a no stop or a one stop for this race, and with practice it doesn't 100% replicate what's going to happen during the race. So they might have a really clean practice race, but then when it comes to the real thing, like we've just seen again at turn 1, people get spun around, go wide, tires get dirty, the wear goes up. It can definitely play a factor into their strategy.
Yeah, that's a good point, because practice isn't race. So once you get in the race and you're not in the position you're expecting to be in, then the strategy has to kick in. So you may well change what you wanted to do mid-race, so to gain an advantage, of course. But yeah, it's not quite the same as practice. Once you get in the race, then you've got to start to think a little bit differently, all depending on where you're at, what's occurred, and whether or not you've got any kind of advantage or disadvantage. You sort of all that plays into your decision. Now I can't really tell. It just seems to be one long string of cars. No groups are forming. Although Tombo seems to be doing pretty well hanging on to the back of Goat.
Oh, we've got Fixer Chris in 8th, making a move on Dale. They're going to be coming side by side into the last corner. That's also going to invite Zoo up on the inside. 2 AMS Excavation Dam Racing members getting into putting the Scud team in a nice little sandwich.
So we've got Dragon, who's doing really well at the moment, who's sitting in 3rd. We did talk about that in the first race, that he was a little bit further back than we would have expected. But Adam also now in 4th place, which is a lot more representative of
I think Dragon and Adam had their cat reflexes on and managed to get really lucky, avoiding all the drama that happened in front of them.
Yeah. We've got Scooter now in 5th. We've got Kazadro in 6th. And behind Kazadro, we've got Zoo. But Zoo is 4 seconds away and a bit slidey there. Lost a bit of... Fixer Chris just about to pass him now. Oh, it's going to be close. No, he pulls back in.
Too wide through the kink almost.
Bit of a train going on behind Zoo.
Oh wow, so must have been some action there because CS Pack has gone past both CCH and Dale.
And Pure Axel made his way back into the pack.
Yep, Stefko and Pure Axel are right on the back of this pack here. And this pack,
Yeah, so that's all happened because Fixer and Zoo have been too busy battling.
Corbin does well to keep it back. He was out in the...
Stefko's just
DJ.
gone again.
Now I wasn't riding with Pure Axel. I don't know whether that was a touch or whether that was all DJ Stefko.
Not sure,
Well,
but
Corbin's
picked himself up a penalty too.
Yeah, that'll probably be from half-second penalty. That could be from Rainy corner, the corner just after the corkscrew, maybe taking a little bit too much inside.
Guys, I'll bring you to the front where we've got Tombo right on Goat's tail. Just about to make a move, he does.
Very nice move.
Does he hold on to it?
Ooh,
Yeah, he
just
does.
about.
Nice driving from Tombo. They've pulled out a 2-second gap to Super Dragon, who's got Adam still on his tailpipe.
Yeah, if I were good, I'd be thinking about the long game. Maybe let Tombo go. So Go can work on his tyres.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because at the moment, Goat's probably got the best tyres of the front four. And I must admit, I'm a little bit surprised that the other three guys are as worn as they are. Oh, they're out in the sand there, both of them. Lucky to keep that together. If that was me, I'd be fueling a wall.
Yeah, so if we do go for a pit stop, what lap do you reckon? Are we going to see a few 9s for some undercuts, or are we going to see even Stevens?
I think it'll be a 10 around the end of lap 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think I'm with Dodgy. I think we're going to see some people come in at 9, but I think we'll also probably see a few people push it out to possibly 11 and 12 to make sure they've got fresher tyres in the back end of the race.
Yeah, and with the risk of coming in early and trying to perform an undercut is that you do have to do more laps on those softs for the second half of your race, and it also does open up the possibility of something not going according to plan, like skidding out and burning through your rubber.
Yeah, I think once the pit stops start, I think we're going to end up with two distinct groups, and then it's going to be a case of whether or not the guys that did decide to pit are going to be able to catch the guys that decided to do the race just on the one set. But yeah, we're starting to get a few packs now going. We've got 3, 4, and 5 in a small pack. Oh no, we've got Cassandra on the back of that as well. Then you've got Fixer Chris leading up the next pack, which has got himself, then followed by Zoo, Dale. They're all fairly. There's a bit of distance between them, about nearly a second each. There's 2 there to Dale, so they're a fair way apart. Behind Dale, we've got Pure Axel, DJ Stefko, Corbin, which is another 2 seconds back, and then CS Packer has now moved to the back of the pack, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think he went a little bit wide the lap before at turn between turn 3 and 4, just before the bridge.
Yeah, this is already turning out to be somewhat of a different race than the first race. It's going to be really interesting once they start to come in, which another 2 laps we could potentially start to see the pits, but it could be as long as 5. So if the gaps start to continue to grow, then that's really going to play on the minds of the guys as to whether or not they pit early, late, or at all.
Yeah, I think about 80% of the drivers in this race are going to do a pit on one lap at least. I'd be very surprised if anything more than 15 or 20% of the drivers stay out.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking at the moment is that we've got Goat and Tombo may well not even come into pit because they've got a good 2 seconds out. So if they can get that out to about 3 to 4 seconds, then the pit stop for the guys behind will turn out to be a much harder distance to cover, even though they've got fresh tyres. But the further back you are, it really doesn't make sense not to come in for tyres. Or sorry, it doesn't make sense to come in for tyres, given the fact that you're just going to put yourself further behind, knowing that there are going to be people that do not pit. So I think it all will come down to where you're sitting, what your tyres look like, what you think you might be able to achieve. But I don't think we're going to get much consistency here. I think it's going to be pretty jagged as to what people do here.
Yeah, and the awesome thing, sorry, Dodgy, the awesome thing about these one makes is that they've also gone a step further compared to last season the 2 seasons ago on GT Sport, where they've also taken out the brake bias for these cars. So it comes purely down to driver technique, rather than being able to rely off the brake bias. Chucking it to the rear can't save you anymore. So it's down to purely what the drivers can do with the cars.
Well, I'm just looking at Dragon's pack, and he's got a hell of a time. He's got both Scooter and Adam on his tail. So if he can hold them off for another couple of laps, he's done a hell of a job. He's gone a little bit wide there. Adam's now getting right up next to him. Well, yeah, the slipstream is looking like he's close enough too. Pulls out, he's got the inside. Scooter now right back there. He's just sitting there waiting for someone to make a mistake. He's going to pounce.
And these guys, like Adam's only 3 seconds behind Goat, and we're up to lap 9 now. So you remember by lap 14, Goat had 11 second lead on the rest for the last race. So Goat has really pulled back. Either he's pulled back for this one, or everyone has bought the game to Goat. One or the other.
Yeah, that's a good point, mate. I'm just looking at lap times, and I'm looking at Goat, and he didn't pull a 28 until lap 9, I think it was, but he's pulled his first 28 on lap 5, and all his 27s have been mid to high. So he's definitely not in the same... he's not pulling the same times he was, yeah.
So tell me he's going to try and stay out there and not come in for a stop, I reckon.
Yeah, he might be going in at only about 9 10. There you go. Tombo's the first to pit.
Yep.
He's gone
9. Yep. I think that's a wise move for Tombo.
Oh, and Adam's gone in as well.
Adam's gone in as well.
I expected Tombo, wasn't quite expecting Adam, to tell you the truth.
There was comes in. Dale stays out. Pure Axel stays out. DJ out. So I think that CCH also stays out.
Oh, Scooter's making a move now on Dragon 2. Sorry about that, Pagani. Down into turn 1. Yep, he's
only Adam and Tombo.
And I didn't see where did... no, there's still the back. Yep, okay, Tombo's on his way out now.
Tombo's only just come out now. And so is Adam.
Yeah, this is now mind games, because now that Tombo's come in, Goat's got to really think about, does he pit at all, or does he go to the end? Because Tombo's got to navigate through the pack, and even though there could be some that actually pit, so there won't be as many cars because he'll pass them as they're in the pits, but he's still going to have to get past a few cars, which is going to slow down his lap time.
Yeah, and Tommy's only
behind.
32 seconds. It's definitely doable. Obviously, with the last 5 laps of these races, of people who don't pit, they're going to really feel it. But the people who have pitted, we've got a yellow flag up ahead. Looks like DJ. He's come to a complete standstill, so he's definitely hit the wall and he's definitely spun around.
Well, DJ's not having a good race this time around.
And he's got damage as well.
Whoa,
rear right and front bumper, and he's gone off.
It's gone off again, yeah. He's having a bit of a hard time there.
Yeah, going back to what I just said before, the people who have pitted, they're going to have to 10 out of 10 laps. Pack as well, he's coming in at the end of lap 10.
And Corbin.
So is Corbin.
And Corbin.
Okay, so we've had 2 on 9, we've had 2 on 10. Does DJ come in? No, he's going around again.
Corbin's tyres, his front right was probably down to about 40% coming to the pits.
Yeah, it's really having a toll when you got the controller. It's
I don't think
rough on the tyres.
DJ can afford to pit now.
Yeah, I have to agree to
think,
you, Dodge. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to try and make the most of what he can. If he pits now, he won't get anywhere. So he's got to try and keep what he can from these guys that are pitting.
Yeah, the only problem he's got is that Tombo and Adam have just come out in fresh tyres, so he's got no chance of getting a slip from either one of those guys. And they've left him for dead already, so
Yep.
yeah, they're already nearly 3 seconds in front. Just looking for packs. The only other pack we've got is Scooter now has got Fixer Chris 1.5 behind him, and Chris has got 3 other cars sitting behind him, so we've got a pack of 5 essentially. Be interesting to see whether anyone in this pack.
With a 1 second penalty.
Oh, it is too. Yep.
Not quite enough to allow Dragon to get past.
I'll give him a
On the
sniff.
outside.
He might go around the outside. There you go, haven't seen that in a while.
He
Ooh.
blocked that corner pretty well, Fixer. He was ready for Dragon then.
So that's about the only group at the moment that's that has any contests running. Everyone else seems to be pretty well evenly spaced apart, which makes it even harder to try to predict who's going to come in for pits outside of this group of 5.
Yeah, so far only about a third of the pack has pitted so far. Everyone down from where are we at? From 9th down, except for DJ, have all pitted.
Yep. Now I'd imagine that this group of 5, if they don't pit in the next 2 laps, then I think they've made a decision they're going to the end.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Goat's tyres are still like really, really good. He's going to do another lap. If Scooter comes in, Scooter's also going to stay out. KZ staying out. Fixer also staying out. What about Zoo again? And Dragon. What Pure does. Also staying out.
Goat's doing 28s and 29s, and Captain and Tombo are in the 27th. So 2 seconds, nearly 2 seconds difference there, but whether or not that's enough to jump him, well, it should be actually, if he comes in for a pit. Even Adam may actually be in front. Well, the pack of 5 seems to have separated a little. We've got Scooter's now got himself a 2.5 second lead back to Kazadro, who's got Fixer Chris on his tail, and then 2 seconds back to Zoo, who has Dragon a second behind him, and Pure Axel is 6 behind those guys, with 7 back to Dale, and then Tombo is closing in on Dale with 4 seconds.
I think the driver with the worst tyres at the moment would arguably be Dragon or Scooter.
Yeah, Dragon's tyres did not look good at all. They'd look fine if it was a thermostat, but they're looking pretty red there.
I think Dragon's strategy for this race must be to play it by ear. He's been very up and down with his strat all week, and I think it was just going to be let's wait and see what happens during the race. So
yeah,
he must be feeling pretty safe there at the moment.
Yeah, I think most of the drivers, well, all the drivers came in with a plan, but obviously those plans go out the window once you start to slowly move back through the pack and you're not where you expected to be. That it really does start to get you to second guess what you need to do. All right, who have we got? Fixer Chris and Casadro with half a second behind. I think that's our closest pairing at the moment.
Oh, Pack has lost it. Coming to the last corner. Just a little bit too much. Too much. Going a little bit wide. Second last corner, trying to catch up to Corbin. He was doing well. He was actually closing the gap pretty quickly. Corbin just pushed a little bit too hard, coming out of the second last corner.
Did they come in for? Yeah, they did come in for tyres.
They did come in for tyres. Yep.
Yep.
Corbin was one of the first ones to pit. I think Packer was as well. The Packer was a bit later.
No, I think Corbin and Packer came in both at the same time, which was a lap after Tombo and Adam. Not quite sure where to put my my vision at the moment. Pretty well evenly spread apart with 6 laps to go.
We're up to lap 15 now, so we're 1 lap past what they used their tyres up for in the last race, and as I hinted at before, Goat's only 4 seconds in front, not 11, so he's definitely quite happy just to back off and not use up those tyres as much as possible.
Yeah, I think he's starting to feel it. He's got a 31 in there, so he's got a 2:29's last 3 laps for 29, 31, 29, so he's definitely starting to feel the manoeuvrability of the car is starting to suffer. But just looking at the top 5, Scooter's tyres look appalling. Dragons don't look much better. Then we've got Fixer, Chris Casadro and Zoo with much better tyres. Or not much better, but better than Scooter and Super
and
Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, Goat's just almost 2 seconds off his personal best, but yeah, that's purely down to tyre wear. These last 5 laps are going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, so Tombo's got 22 seconds to make back, which you're thinking if no one's going to come in a pit, that's a hard ask with 6 cars in front of you.
Well, I guess we know what our strategy is going to be for the 7:30 session.
It's good watching the 5:30 session and you race at 7:30.
The only problem is I can't drive like these guys, so it doesn't matter what strategy I can't match it.
I think I'm the same there, Tom. Dodgy, I have not been able to find any consistency. I'm doing decent 27s, and then the next lap will be a 29, and then the 28, and then a 30. So, yeah, trying to stay consistent is so hard.
Sand.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, Tombo's down to 20 seconds. Yeah. 5 laps to go. That's like, he needs to pull back 4 seconds a lap, which you'd think that's just too much of an ask.
Yeah, and on top of as well as him having to get past 7 other drivers.
That's right, yeah. Yep. His lap times aren't too bad at all, but 4 seconds a lap is just, Goat would have to be doing 31s to 32s from here out.
Well, Dragon's gone wide
off
at the kink. That's opened the door for pure axle and coming to the corkscrew. That's purely down to tyre wear. Dragon's tyres are probably as bad as Corbin's were at the end of the last race.
Oh, geez, they're looking pretty bad, aren't they? Far out. You'd think he's still got to do another. He's coming around to the end of the 16th lap. He's got 4 more laps to do. That I can see that Dragon is really, really going to struggle because those tyres are going to shred pretty quickly now. So
I don't think there's going to be any white left at the end of that race on that front right.
Yeah, and we've driven this before. So once you get down there, the car's almost impossible to turn or to control.
No, he's got Tombo knocking on the door and Dragon telling him to go to the left side. Tom's going to go the long way around, I think. But they might go try for an undercut. There you go.
Yeah, I think he was always going to get that one.
All the mind games.
Tombo's down to 18 seconds with 4 laps to go. 16.
Something's happened with Dragon with Go if he's managed to close the gap that quickly in a matter of 2 corners. He went from 18 to now to just under 16.
Yeah, he's only
Fixer
2
Chris.
seconds ahead of
Who's
Fixer.
gone wide just before the kink?
Fixer Chris has got past Scooter, so Scooter might have had a bit of an issue there. Or Fixer Chris has just been driving like a demon because he's only 2.7 now behind Goat. And look at his lap times. He's got lows to medium 29s, which isn't too bad considering his tyre wear.
I think something definitely happened to Goat in the first sector.
See what time he crosses the line with here, because he's been 29s for the last 5 laps.
This could be a 33.
Holy
Yep.
moly, yep.
Well
Something
called.
definitely happened.
That's the problem now. You've got 3 laps where you're going to be doing, low to mid 33s. Low if you can keep it on the track. Mid if you're going to struggle with a couple of issues and can't get the car to turn in.
Yeah, and just the slightest lapse of concentration. You're always in that mindset of your tyres are always top notch, and then 18 laps later, they're not.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right. Yeah.
You're having a meeting with Barrier.
Tombo's moved into 6th place, and he's 14 seconds off with 3 laps to go.
Looks like KZ's just pulled a move. Yep, he's just made it past Scooter.
Yep, he's just got that little bit better tyre wear than Scooter does. Oh, it doesn't look like, unless something happens at the front, unless Chris can really... Oh, geez, that was close. Chris nearly came off the corkscrew there. Unless Chris can really start to put it to goat, it looks like this race is going to be done and dusted. But Fixer Chris is doing a hell of a job. He's really moved away now from Zadro and Scooter, who are nearly 2 seconds behind him.
Tom has broken into the 12 second barrier. At 12.5 now, coming to the last corner.
Yeah, I tell you what, this could get very interesting in the with 2 laps to go, because 2 laps to go with that kind of tyre wear, if the guys don't make mistakes, they're still going to be doing pretty slow times, and Tombo's doing relatively 20, just on the cusp to 27 there, but he's on 28 flat.
It's definitely been a race like when new guys come to wheel, we always help them out, and the first thing you tell the guy, the newcomers, is don't worry about being fast. You want to be consistent. Just concentrate on staying on the track. And quite honestly, this race for a top split has been exactly what we tell those new guys. Just stay on the track.
Yeah, and I think you're so right there, Dodge, especially in the lower leagues. Everyone's trying to jump into the corners to grab a place, but it very rarely works out well for anybody, because you probably haven't got the right line, you've got too much speed, you're going to put the other guy off the track, and so it's a waiting game. So yeah, but this is a perfect example, is with the tyre wear that the guys are racing with, that they've all managed to seamlessly stay on the track is just fantastic. I think it's a testament to Div 1.
It's got pretty dark out there all of a sudden too. Looks like a bit of cloud cover's come over, a bit of mist has come in. So it could be a dodgy last lap or two.
Oh, so you did there. Chucked in a little pun. Tombo's almost broken into the 9 second barrier. I personally think a one-stop is probably the preferred option, even though with a 10-second deficit, with not pitting, you do make yourself very vulnerable to mistakes. And I think around here, a mistake is going to cost you more than 10 seconds.
I think for the Div 1 drivers, then it was a reliable strategy. But when you move down through the divisions, I don't know whether or not the driving skill of some of the rest of the divisions are at the same standard whereby they're going to be able to be this consistent on tyres that are so bad. So if anyone's watching and in lower leagues, lower divisions, and thinking about not doing a pit stop,
don't do it.
Well, good luck to you. Good luck
with
to you.
With this try two.
It's
the only thing that keeps me on track.
I'm just looking at the tyres. I don't know how Scooter is still going. Tombo's trying to get past.
Yep,
trying to get that extra position.
Leading up to the last corner now. So he's got a 4.3 second lead.
We got Tombo and Scooter fighting for position 5 here. Tombo just hasn't been able to get past.
And go takes his second win for the season. Maximum damage. Fixer in second, KZ in third, Scooter in fourth, Scooter in fifth, Tombo in sixth. Very great drive. Pure Axel about to come across the line. 7th.
Well, congratulations, Goat. 2 wins.
Now for Adam, finishing in 8th. Super Dragon in 9th. Dale finishing up the top 10.
Got Corbin just coming around the corner now. Just about to cross the line for 11th. CS Packer.
Does a go
puts it
flick.
at the wall.
And then Packer, and then finishing up the grid. DJ,
some more hassles.
trying to find out where third is. There you go.
Yeah,
Well-
he's had a terror of a night, poor old DJ, with that one.
That's the opening round for Season 11 done and dusted, and I think going off that, we can expect to see some pretty tight racing in the Sylvia rounds. That was really, really interesting to see how well some of the guys did with the same car and the level of tyre wear that they had to suffer through till the end of the race.
Absolutely, and can you imagine, boys, if you thought that was scary, our last race of the season is in this car, 69 laps around Big Willow.
Of all the places.
Yeah,
Quicksand.
sand as far as you can see. If you leave that track at any point, you might as well pack a lunch. So
I've all of a sudden become really busy on that day.
So that's what to come. 9 weeks from today, you got to be back to watch that race, surely.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge race. I didn't realise it was that many laps. Far out. Okay, all right.
Yeah, gonna be a big one. I tell you what, we might just throw a quick ad to one of our sponsors here before we lead out. We'll be right back. And there you have AMS Excavations. They were supporting Wheel to Wheel last season. They are back with us again this season. And as you saw in that race, 3 of those yellow, pink and purple damn hexagons have got the AMS logo on their car because they are sponsoring the damn hexagon team. So thanks for coming back, AMS.
And Dodgy will also give a shout out to BQS. BQS Group is an integral provider of transport and logistical solutions Australia-wide. Since 2003, the team at BQS have been customising solutions for their broad range of clients and partners. To find out more, go to www.bqs.com.au.
Yep, absolutely. And next week, fellas, back in the GR3s next week. So we're in the big boys, up with the big boys. There's some great makes that were left open, like what was chosen by the 5 teams sort of was surprising this season. We've got Lexus, we've got AMGs, there are 2 teams running V-dubs, there are 5 Beetles alone in Div 1. So next week is going to be huge. It's at Suzuka, and look, I don't want to preempt anything, but it is known to rain in Japan.
I just want to see Alonso pass around the outside.
I think you're right there, Dodge, given that there's 5 Beetles in that particular division. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they're at the front part of the pack or the back part of the pack, and how they go. Yeah.
Absolutely. And on that note, we better get this wrapped up. I'd like to thank you 2 fellas for turning up tonight and giving it a red hot go. Hopefully this isn't the only time we see you up here in any div, actually, just in the com box. So Mid, thank you very much for coming.
Been a pleasure. Thanks, Dodge.
No worries. And Pagani, are we going to see your bum back in the seat?
I hope so. Hopefully it's still warm when I come back.
Well, I'm not sure I want to sit in a seat after you if it's warm, but anyway, we'll leave that for another discussion. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great night, and to everyone else, we will see you on the flip side. Good night.